Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today. This one's going to be doing a review for the Walking Dead universe and another Walking Dead universe Q&A video for today. We have not done one of these in a good while, and I do apologize for kind of putting them off for a little bit. The more so the reason why is because Walking Dead just didn't have much going on, so there wasn't really many topics to discuss, but Dead City releases in literally just over a month here, so wanted to bring them back every week now. We should be back on these. I asked you guys for some questions. You guys left a lot of questions, so we're going to go over some of them today, and then we're going to go over the rest probably, the next time, which will be like about a week from now, maybe even less than that, something like that. But we are getting back to the Q&As every single week now. That's the plan. So if you have Q&A comments and questions, now's a good time to ask them, because now we're going to be getting back into these every single week, and obviously after a Dead City episode releases, we'll do a Q&A that week, discussing the episode, going over some of your theories and your questions and, all that stuff. So Q&As are back in full force, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So let's get right into your comments here. Getting things started with Malutin, who says that, Dan, do you think we could see infected walkers, like walker zombie-like animals, in the Walking Dead universe? So zombies that are animals, basically, is what you're talking about. So yeah, I could see the franchise going to that degree. We haven't really seen anything like that before. Obviously Gimple is always trying to expand. He's always trying to change things all the time. It's funny, I write my own series, World Gone Mad, and in my series, I have infected animals all the time. So like, Gimple, are you watching World Gone Mad? You know what I mean? That'd be a good question. I'll say this, I do think that infected animals could happen in the Walking Dead universe at one point or another. But again, it's kind of an odd one, because it's like, okay, if we see an infected animal, like, what happens, right? Like, does the thing get taken down easily? Do we see an infected animal kill a survivor or something? Like, do we actually go that far with it? Is it just strictly experimental? I mean, I don't know. So it is an interesting question. I wouldn't mind seeing it. It would be an interesting piece of lore of the franchise to say that, hey, walkers can be animals as well too. Like, animals could turn into walkers, you know what I mean? We've never really seen the process of what it's like for an animal to die and then turn into a walker. I don't even know if that's possible in this franchise, but again, like, we haven't seen it, so things could happen. I do find it ironic, though, that they do say that babies can't turn, yet in Fear the Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 2, we actually saw a zombie baby, in a car seat, you know what I mean? So it's like, but again, Fear plot holes itself all the time, so what am I saying? But, it makes sense that we could see an infected animal at some point in this show. One of these shows, at least, whether it's Dead City or Daryl Dixon, maybe give it to Dead City, because Daryl Dixon didn't really do the greatest job with the variants in France. They kind of dropped the ball on that one, I'm not gonna lie. So maybe give it to Dead City, see what they do with it. Yeah, not a bad idea. Next two come from Yannick and Simba Fan, who both have questions in regards to Lucille, where they talk about, Yannick says, Dan, do you think that we will see Negan name the bat? Do you think he will give the bat a name like he did with Lucille with the other bat? Also, do you think Croat will be the one that digs it up for him and gives Lucille to Negan, Lucille 2.0? I guess 3.0 at this point. And then the other question is from Simba Fan, who says that, Dan, do you think it's the same bat from Season 7 of The Walking Dead? Like, do you think that's the same Lucille that killed Glenn, the one that got destroyed in, Season 10? Do you think that's the same one in Dead City Season 2? Like I said, I did a video about that. I hope to hell that we don't see the same bat back again, because that would be a plot hole. The bat was broken in Here's Negan, as we saw.
Yeah, that's bull crap.
And we saw Negan burn it. So I would hope to hell that's not the case, because that would be a plot hole in and of itself. But I do think that it is a new bat that Croat gave to Negan, and Negan will be using it this season, and it is by Croat's request that Negan uses this bat. Now, will he call it Lucille? Something tells me he will, because we know that Hillary Burton is coming back to do hallucinations for Negan this season, and I feel like that might be a push to influence that hallucination, is if he calls it Lucille, does horrible things with it, and then, the hallucinations happen with Lucille. Evidently, it's supposed to happen in episode 7, and then, it all kind of starts to make sense. So that's what I think is going to end up happening. But again, it's hard to tell. Maybe he won't name it Lucille, but I do think Croat is the one that gave it to him. And no, I don't think it's the same bat from the original series, because again, that would be a plot hole in and of itself. It wouldn't add up. It wouldn't make sense. And they would have some serious explaining to do. You know what I mean? So I don't see them going down that rabbit hole, but again, we'll have to see. If they do that, I'd be seriously just shocked at that point. The next one comes from Jakob, who says that, Dan, do you think that maybe at some point they will move cities away from New York City, yet keep the Dead City series going? So basically, what he's saying is, do you think that we will see Dead City go to a different city in this show, right? Instead of making a different series? Yeah, I do, because as long as it's a city, I feel like they can get away with it. You know what I mean? Something does tell me we might move cities at one point or another. Yeah. I don't know necessarily where, though. That's the part that's kind of difficult. Like, could we go to, I'm trying to think. We've seen Washington before. Could we do, well, and we've seen Philadelphia before as well, too. I really would. I'm going to lay this out here because Gimple has, he's done some crazy shit before. I would actually be very curious to see how they would handle Vegas in the Walking Dead universe. I've always said that. Vegas in the Walking Dead universe, I think, would be a very interesting setting. Thing is, though, I don't know how Dead City would do it, because I know that Maggie has the bricks there, right, nearby that location, which is like the new hilltop. So will they move to a different city in Dead City at one point? I suppose they could. Maybe it's some kind of trip that Maggie and Negan have to take. I mean, I guess that's not an impossible thing. But something tells me that, like, for a while we'll be in New York, and then we may move locations. Yeah, like for like a season 4 or season 5, which, yes, I'm thinking that far, because Gimple has literally said that he'd love to do that. You know what I mean? Like, they've literally said, I mean, Lauren Cohen literally said, she's like, yeah, we could get like 4 to 5 seasons out of Dead City. You know what I mean? Maybe more. So, the show is not going anywhere for a while. So they might explore a different city, because the thing is, it's called Dead City. As long as you're in a city of some kind, you're not breaking that title. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we could see, a different city at one point. As a matter of fact, I think we will at one point. I think at least season 2 and 3 will be in New York. After that, I feel like you could explore different things. That could, be a change of scenery at that point. But again, we'll have to see. Next one comes from Ivo, who says that, Dan, do you think that we will see a scenario at one point where Dead City will kind of take a bit of a gap after season 2, and we could actually wait until 2027 to see season 3, making room for the new spinoff series that is rumored to be happening in 2026? I think you're on to something there, Ivo. I'm not going to lie, because I have not heard any information on Dead City season 3 or even them filming the 3rd season. I could see a scenario where Dead City does hold off in 2026 and they make room for that new series that they've been talking about, whether it is the Australia series that happens in 2026, whether it's Tales Season 2 that may happen in 2026, which we know Gimple has discussed that idea recently, or it's, an Aaron and Gabriel spinoff, which I know they mentioned the idea of that. Whatever it is, I could see a scenario where that happens, because I've also heard word on the street that apparently later this year or even this summer, there might be a new Walking Dead spinoff that starts filming. So if they do that and then wait until 2026, maybe spring, early summer 2026, they release the new spinoff, and then fall 2026, season 4 of Daryl Dixon. That might actually make a little bit of sense there. I'm not going to lie. So maybe that's what they do. That actually does sound right to me. It does, because again, Dead City hasn't even been renewed for a 3rd season. We're already in March. I'm assuming they're not preparing anything for filming yet. We know Daryl Dixon season 4 is going to start filming soon, and we know that the spinoff is rumored to be filming this summer, right? We've heard leaks of that. Again, not official, but we've heard leaks of that. That would make sense. Daryl starts filming in a few months for season 4, getting that prepared for next year. And this new spinoff apparently is also going to be filming at some point this year. There is your lineup for 2026 right there. Whatever the new spinoff is, and Daryl Dixon season 4. That honestly could make a lot of sense. I actually agree with that. And then early 2027, we get Dead City season 3. Question is Dead City going to only be every 2 years? Is that the direction that they're going with. You know what I mean? That's a good question. And Ivo also asked in his question here, which I also thought was very interesting. He says, do you think that we will get more seasons of Dead City or Daryl Dixon? Daryl Dixon for sure. Dead City does not release as frequent as Daryl Dixon does, unfortunately, because I much prefer the Dead City show over the Daryl Dixon show. But I feel like at this point, they're almost making Daryl Dixon we have to release a season every year because it's Daryl, you know what I mean? If we go a year without Daryl in the Walking Dead universe, we're doomed, you know what I mean? Which I wouldn't say is the case at all. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't mind taking a year off from Daryl so that I'm not so bored of his storylines, you know what I mean? Maybe I can actually get interested in Daryl Dixon again, you know what I mean? I don't know. But yeah, that's a whole topic for another day. But yeah, I think Daryl Dixon will get more seasons than Dead City for sure. So that is it for the questions for today. We have a lot more from y'all coming up for the next Q&A. Thank you all for your participation. Much appreciated. And a lot of great comments from you guys for today. Really enjoyed it. So thank you all for watching. If you're new to the channel, guys, and you enjoy videos like this, be sure to click the subscribe button to miss any other videos of The Walking Dead. Be sure to follow me on Dan's Reviews Official on Instagram, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos for The Walking Dead universe. Enjoy the rest of the day, guys, and peace out.
Born in the dark alleys, city of concrete. Dan's reviews blowing up, never taste defeat. Walking Dead dissected every plot twist beat. World gone mad, TV junkies did a treat. Typing up scripts, marathon through the night. His opinions hit harder than a street fight scene. Every episode, brain sharper than a knife. He's the beacon of critique, shedding TV light.